The sunlight spilled like liquid gold across the penthouse's marble floor, but inside, the air was thick with tension. Richard Blackstone's voice sliced through the silence like a blade. "Where is my Rolex?" His footsteps pounded across the 300-square-meter luxury apartment, eyes wild, face flushed with fury. The walls, pristine, sterile, expensive, could not contain the storm that raged within him. "My Submariner, 50 grand, gone." He spun toward her like a predator locking on to prey. Monica Santos stood by the hallway closet, a bottle of organic citrus disinfectant in one hand, a folded microfiber cloth in the other. She was 32, tall, composed, and wore the elite cleaning services uniform like armor. Her calm was not the product of submission. It was learned, earned, sharpened by years of dealing with exactly this kind of man. "I don't know anything about a watch, Mr. Blackstone," she said, her voice even, eyes steady. But Richard had already made up his mind. "Of course you do. You are the only one in my closet today." He marched toward her, breathing hard, fists clenching and unclenching. Monica didn't move. "You can check my bag if you want," she said simply. But inside, her pulse ticked like a time bomb. Not because she was afraid. She was past fear. What she felt now was disgust, familiar, bitter. "Oh, I'll check it all right. And the cops will check it too. I'm sick of people like you thinking you can take advantage of people like me." People like you. That phrase was a cold slap. But before Monica could reply, a sharp, aching wail cut through the air. A baby. Desperate. Panicked. It came from the nursery. Monica froze. Richard didn't even turn his head. "The nanny handles that," he snapped. "Open your damn bag." But the crying grew louder, more guttural. It was no ordinary fussing. Monica had helped raise 5 nephews. She knew that cry, that neglected cry, a help me cry. Without asking permission, Monica walked past Richard and entered the nursery, and what she saw made her stomach twist. Little Thomas Blackstone, 6 months old, lay alone in his crib. His face was red and soaked with tears, diaper heavy and clearly unchanged for hours, no nanny in sight. "Hey there, sweetheart," Monica whispered. Her anger drained away in an instant, replaced by instinct. She picked him up, changed his diaper, and rocked him gently. Within seconds, the baby stopped crying. His tiny fists unclenched. He curled into her neck and exhaled a shuddering breath. "What the hell are you doing?" Richard was at the door now, eyes wide. His son was in Monica's arms, and quiet. "Put my son down." Monica handed the baby back carefully. The instant Thomas left her arms, he erupted into another scream. Richard tried to shush him, bounce him, sway him. Nothing worked. "I don't understand," he muttered. "Babies feel energy," Monica said gently. "They cry when things don't feel safe." Richard stared at her, breathing hard, eyes scanning for insult. "Are you implying I'm a bad father?" "I'm explaining why your son stopped crying with me." "What a convenient story," he said, voice laced with venom. "You calm babies and steal watches. Bravo." Monica's hands tightened around her cloth, but her voice remained calm, cold as glass. "Let me make something clear," she said. "I did not take your watch. And if you're so sure I did, then by all means, call the police. They'll want to see the security footage, won't they?" Richard hesitated. Monica continued. "The cameras in the hall, the elevators, the parking garage, they'll show when I arrived. And more importantly, they'll show where you lost that watch." For the first time, real doubt cracked his expression. She had flipped the script, and he knew it. Still, his ego screamed for control. "Great. Let's get the whole company involved. Everyone at Elite Cleaning will know exactly who you are." Please do, Monica said. I'd love to explain this to them on record. She gathered her supplies with sharp, practiced movements, but inside, something had shifted, something big. Richard had stepped on a landmine he didn't know existed, because Monica Santos wasn't just a cleaning lady. She was a trained investigator, a graduate in criminology, a woman who had once worked undercover to expose child trafficking in Kingston, and she was done taking abuse from men like Richard. Her phone buzzed. Carmen, still in the States? Monica, need a favor. Remember Detective Martinez? I need access to security footage, fast. Carmen, you back in the game? Monica, just protecting myself, and maybe setting a trap for a snake. 30 minutes later, Martinez called. Monica Santos. Haven't heard that name in years. I need access to the footage and a background check on a Richard Blackstone. Say no more. Meanwhile, Richard's day unraveled. His phone buzzed nonstop. 12 missed calls from his lawyer, urgent messages from his wife's private investigator, panic texts from the office. And then Detectives Johnson and Rodriguez arrived. They listened to his story calmly, skeptically. So you're accusing the cleaning lady with no witnesses, no proof, and no memory of where you last saw the item. Richard's mouth flapped. Then Johnson's phone buzzed. He turned pale. Security found something under your car in the garage. He held up a clear plastic bag. Inside, the Rolex. Richard's mouth dried. Monica was already gone, but the storm she left behind was just beginning, because Detective Martinez had news. 3 lawsuits, all racial discrimination, all settled quietly. And now this. Monica sent the file to a civil rights lawyer, Dr. Patricia Williams. She responded within the hour. I've been waiting for a case like this. By sunset, Channel 7 News had the story. By 7 p.m., Monica's recording, capturing every word Richard had screamed, aired across the city. People like you, take advantage. I've known people like you forever. The backlash was immediate. Richard's company convened an emergency meeting. His board voted to suspend him. Clients fled. Sponsors vanished. His wife filed for divorce and demanded half of everything. Monica? She was offered a position at Chen & Associates as a lead investigator starting at $80,000. She accepted. 6 months later, she oversaw a team of 12 from her 23rd floor corner office. She had bought her mother a home in Jamaica, put 3 nephews through college, launched a nonprofit to protect workers like herself. Reporters now called her the Quiet Storm, the woman who took down an empire with nothing but truth, training, and patience. And Richard? He lived in a studio apartment, pushing shopping carts, blacklisted from every major firm. When his toddler son asked, "Daddy, why is that lady on TV talking about you?" Richard had no answer, because he had tried to destroy Monica and ended up giving her a spotlight. Richard stared at the muted television screen in the break room of the warehouse where he now worked night shifts, stacking pallets and cleaning chemical spills for a third-party logistics firm that didn't care who he used to be. Channel 7 was re-airing the special, The Cleaning Lady Who Took Down a Titan. Monica's face appeared, composed, radiant and calm, answering questions in front of a packed auditorium. She spoke with conviction, not vengeance. Justice isn't about punishment, it's about truth, and truth, when revealed, is the most powerful force on earth. Applause erupted on screen. Richard couldn't move. His fingers trembled. His throat tightened. For once it wasn't from anger, but something he had long buried under layers of pride. Shame. He had once believed that people like Monica were beneath him, disposable, replaceable, but now she was the standard. Her methods were being taught in civil rights seminars. Labor unions across the country had invited her to train staff on worker protections. Domestic workers began using discreet auto-record apps modeled after Monica's defensive strategy. The law in 3 states had already changed thanks to her foundation's lobbying. She hadn't just exposed him, she'd built a movement. And what had he done? He had tried to ruin a woman who had never wronged him because of her skin, her status, her strength. He had humiliated her in front of his own child, in his own home, and in doing so, he exposed the rot within himself. Richard turned off the television. The screen went black. His reflection stared back, sunken eyes, gray stubble. A man who had traded his legacy for a fleeting sense of superiority. But Monica? Monica Santos was only just beginning. That same night, in her office, Monica received a package, no return address. Inside, a letter, in handwritten block print. Monica Santos, you don't know me, but I was fired last year from the same firm Richard used to run. They called me too urban for a client-facing position. I never fought back until I saw your story. Thank you for giving women like me a voice. Enclosed is a small donation to your foundation. I hope it helps someone else rise too. Monica held the letter for a long moment, eyes wet but proud. In a drawer below, she kept a single item from the day everything changed. The microfiber cloth she had clenched while Richard screamed at her. She had never washed it. It reminded her that dignity is not what people give you, it's what you claim for yourself. She stood and looked out the glass wall of her office. The city glittered below. Somewhere out there, another worker was being falsely accused, another woman being silenced, another immigrant being overlooked. And she would be waiting, prepared, fearless, relentless. Because when the world underestimated Monica Santos, it wrote its own downfall. Richard Blackstone had asked once in anger and arrogance, "What harm can a cleaning lady do to me?" Now the answer echoed from boardrooms, courtrooms, classrooms, and newsrooms around the country. Everything.